Hello and welcome to TD's Pokemon Lair. I'm TD and this is the Lair. Today we'll be unboxing a box of 10 Pokemon cards I sent to PSA over a year ago. I got them back in this nice little box, nicely packaged so they don't get damaged. Let me get them out of here and we'll see what grades I got. Alright, let's go. Let's look at this 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Sabrina's Gaze, a first edition trainer, the number 125th card. Looking at this card, you can see that the surface is clean. I don't see any damage or dirt. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think it's okay. But looking from left to right, I think it's towards the right. And our corners on our edges show no damage that I can find. Now as we gander at the back of the card, you can see that the surface is clean. There's no damage, dirt, or grime. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think it's probably within spec. Looking from right to left though, it's definitely off to the left, taking us out of spec. And looking at our edges and our corners, there's some slight damage to all four corners. You can especially see it on the upper right. And that's going to give us a grade of near mint 8. That's not too shabby. Would you believe I sent in a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Lightning Energy, a first edition, the number 130th card of the set. Looking at the front of this card, it's really clean. I like the graphics on this card. Looking at our centering from side to side, I think it's within tolerance from top to bottom though. It is out of tolerance, I'm pretty sure, to the top. And our corners and edges look really nice. Looking to the back of the card, you can see that the surface and graphics are clean. There's no damage or problems there. Looking at our centering from left to right, it's good, but looking from top to bottom, it's quite a bit towards the top. And looking at our corners and our edges, the edges are really clean. And the corners, I think there might be some damage to the lower right corner, but it's very, very slight. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9. And energy got me a 9. We're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Water Energy, a first edition, the number 132 card of the set. And looking at this card, you can see it's clean. There's no damage or bends to the front of the card, no dirt. Our centering, looking at it, I think it's to the left from side to side. And from top to bottom, I think it's towards the bottom a little bit. And our corners on our edges have no damage. As we flip this card over and look at the back of it, you can see that the centering is from side to side is to the right, matching the front. And looking at it from top to bottom, I think it's slightly towards the bottom. Looking at our surface of the card, it's really clean. There's no problems or bends. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think there's some damage to both right corners. And we'll receive a grade of mint 9 for that energy. Man, not too bad. Hey, look, it's a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Blaine's Magmar, a first edition, the number 37 card. Looking at the front of this card, I don't see any damage, dirt, or grime, or any problems. Looking at our centering from top to bottom and left to right, I think it's towards the top, possibly taking us out of a tolerance. And looking at our corners and our edges, they're very clean. As we look at the back of the card, you can see that the surface and graphics are nice and clean. There's no issues. Looking at our centering from top to bottom and left to right, actually I think it's pretty good within tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, there's some damage to the upper right and lower left corners. Not really bad, just a little bit of damage. And that's going to give us a grade of near mint 8. Man, we were robbed. That should have been a 9. Should have been a 9. We're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Brock's Geodude, a first edition, the number 38 card. The front of this card looks really good. I don't see any damage, dirt, or problems. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, looks pretty good from left to right. It's possibly to the left, taking us out of tolerance. And our corners on our edges are very clean. As we look to the back of the card, it looks really good. Our surface and graphics have no issues, no problems. Our centering looks really good, even better than on the front, from top to bottom and right to left. Looking at our edges, they're very clean. Looking at our corners, the upper right corner has a notable piece of small damage. And that would give us a grade of Mint 9. Man, that little piece of damage, I believe, took us out of a 10. Wow. Let's take a look at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Brock's Golbat, a first edition, the number 39 card. Looking at this card, you can see that there's no issues with the front of the card. It looks really clean. No bends or breaks. Looking at our centering, I think it looks really good from top to bottom and right to left. Our corners and our edges are very clean with no damage. As we turn this card over and look at the back of the card, the surface and graphics are nice and clean. I think there is no issues there. Looking at our centering from side to side, I think it's slightly to the left, but I don't think it's out of tolerance. Maybe it is. Looking at our top to bottom, I think that's good. Looking at our corners and our edges, our upper right and lower left corners both have some damage. And that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9 for this Golbat. I like it. I like it like that. Let's look at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Brock's Graveler, a first edition, the number 40 card. Looking at the front of this card, I don't see any dirt, damage, creases, bends, or any other things. Maybe even a booger or so ain't there. Looking at our centering, I think it's really good from top to bottom and left to right. And our corners and our edges, I think, are really clean. As we flip the card over and look at the back, you can see that the surface is clean. There's no problems there. No damage. Our centering, I think, is within tolerance from left to right and top to bottom. Looking at our edges, they were pretty clean. Looking at our corners, I think there's very, very slight damage to all four corners. And that will give us a grade of Mint 9. Man, I'll take those. I'll take them. Let's look at this 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Brock's Lickitung, a first edition, the number 41 card. Looking at the front of this card, I see no damage, dirt, or any problems. Nobody's licked it or anything. Looking at the centering from top to bottom and side to side, I think that's pretty good. And our corners and our edges have no damage that I can find. As I turn to the back of the card, you can see that the centering from top to bottom doesn't look too bad from left to right. I think it's a little to the left, maybe out of spec. Looking at our surface of the card, you can see that it's really clean from the main graphics, but on our blue border on the lower edge, you can see there's a smudge on the blue. And looking at our corners, I think there's some damage, very, very slight to all four corners. And that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9. Man, I like them. We're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Erica's Executive, a first edition, the number 43 card. The surface is really clean. I don't see any damage, dirt, or grime, or anybody doing anything to it. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think it's pretty good. From left to right, I think it's out of spec slightly to the left. And looking at our corners and our edges, I think they're very clean and pristine. Looking at the back of the card, it looks really clean on the surface. I don't see any dirt, grimes, or bend. Looking at our centering, I think it looks really good, probably within tolerance from all four sides. And looking at our corners and our edges, those are really clean and pristine like the front. This could possibly be a 10. Let's see. Oh, Mint 9. The centering on the front must have taken us out of the 10 range. I'm looking at a 2000 Pokemon Gym Heroes Erica's Executor, a first edition, the 44 card. Looking at the front of this card, I see no damage, dirt, grime, bends, creases, or anything like that. Our centering from top to bottom and left to right look pretty good, except I think it actually, taking a second look, I think it's slightly out towards the top. And our edges and our corners, I think, look really good. The back of the card looks really nice. Looking at our surface, I don't see any damage or dirt or creases, bends. Looking at our centering, I think it looks pretty good from side to side, from top to bottom. I think it's better than the front. It's still a little towards the top. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think both lower corners and possibly the upper right corner has some slight damage. And we get a grade of near Mint 8. That's not too bad. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the content of this video. Please subscribe and like, And always, always remember, you got to catch them all. Have an awesome day.